Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Iron Port. The program is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil Company Limited, also Serene Insurance. Media partner for this program is the Business and Financial Times. So if you get a copy of the Thursday edition of the Business and Financial Times, you should watch, or read, I should say, a lot of what transpires on this platform. On Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. an abridged version of this program will be aired on Ghana Television. We're going to return from the break shortly, and we will be talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation that has commenced in Ghana, the processes that Customs has begun employing other ports. If you are interested in exporting or importing, which you should be, almost everybody is interested, because sometimes even the match that you use in your home, the matchsticks sometimes are imported. So you should be interested in learning about the new processes, that is, if a lot has changed at all, new processes when it comes to importing and exporting under the new African Continental Free Trade Area that the whole continent of Africa, particularly those who are members of that agreement, have signed on to. Right from the break, I will introduce my guest and we'll commence the discourse.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibration. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water, or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you doing up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Welcome back to the program. It's Iron Port, and we are live here in the studios of Metro Television. My guest this evening is Mr. Fechin Akoto, the Assistant Commissioner, Tariff and Trade, responsible for free trade agreements, including the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Mr. Fechin, good to see you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you here, but I wasn't glad when I looked around the church and I didn't see you.
Good to see you today. Good to see you.
Also, Mr. Francis Holy Aja is the Director of International Business Development of Casapreco Company Limited. Mr. Aja, pleasure to hijack you in the studio.
Thank you.
Nice shirt.
Thank you.
Good to have you. It's refreshing to hear that your company was one of the first companies to use to start the free trade processes, the export processes. Is that so? Is that correct?
It is.
Good.
It is true.
Good. So we are glad to have you around, and I'm sure that other companies that are watching who equally do export will be glad to hear from you, the experiences and all of that. In the meantime, the official commencement was launched by His Excellency the President of the Republic this week. In addition to that, there were a couple of forums, the discussions and all of that to usher in the commencement of the processes or implementation of the Continental Free Trade Area. Let's take a listen to that and we'll come back to the studio.
President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has formally launched a business forum to commemorate the official start of AfCFTA trading in Ghana on Tuesday, January 5, 2021 in Accra. The Business Forum, which was organized by the Ministry of Trade and Industry in collaboration with the GRA, was attended by dignitaries including Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the AfCFTA Secretariat, senior government officials and captains of industry, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, the Senior Minister, a Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and Governor of the Bank of Ghana. President Akufo-Addo stated that the AfCFTA is a pivotal step for job creation, industrialization, and sustainable development for the youth of Ghana, adding that the government will ensure that Ghanaian businesses derive maximum benefits from the AfCFTA agreement.
Government is committed to ensuring that adequate financial and human resources are mobilized to make Ghana the new commercial center for trade, finance, and investment on the continent, a duty we should fulfill as host country of the AfCFTA Secretariat.
He said that a single African market would increase intra-African trade by as much as $35 billion per annum by harnessing the purchasing power of the continent's 1.2 billion people.
Government strategy for supporting the private sector to boost exports to other African countries underpins our national action plan for boosting intra-African trade and the national export development strategy.
He stated that the agreement will unlock and transform the huge resource endowment of the continent through value addition, increase export revenue earnings in Africa, and promote regional value chain, as well as create massive job opportunities for the continent's teeming youth. The Secretary General of the AfCFTA, Wamkele Mene, said locating the AfCFTA Secretariat in Ghana is not only a symbol of confidence in the country, but also a signal that Ghana is the commercial and trade center of Africa. He revealed that the African Union Commission had accepted a proposal to transfer all functions related to the AfCFTA from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia to Accra, Ghana.
This decision of the Assembly of Heads of States positions Ghana as the gateway to trade and investment in Africa. It gives practical meaning to Ghana's long-standing ideals of Pan-Africanism.
The Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, cautioned against complacency, especially when other continental agreements initiated in the past have varied degrees of success due to implementation challenges.
And Mr. President, whilst we deserve to pat ourselves on the back for coming this far, I will propose that we celebrate with moderation for a number of reasons. Because this is not the first time that our union is embarking on such a major continental initiative.
He said there is the need to focus on how micro and small enterprises can be empowered to take full advantage of the AfCFTA. During the second part of the business forum on the AfCFTA in Accra, the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Colonel Kwadwo Damwa, implored all exporters to secure the necessary licenses, permits, certificates, and other vital documents from designated ministries, departments, and agencies. He said exporters or their agents who want to operate within the AfCFTA will have to complete and submit the African Continental Free Trade Area Exporter Registration Form, followed by mandatory checks and approvals by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Customs Division of GRA to ascertain eligibility to establish under the AfCFTA.
If GRA Customs Division is satisfied and approves of the application, an African Continental Free Trade Area Exporter Code is generated, and this is subject to annual renewal.
The Commissioner of Customs also guided the trading public with the aid of visual illustrations on the processes required to undertake export under the AfCFTA through the Integrated Customs Management System. The Chief Operations Officer of Trade Africa Online, Kweku Nsiamensuo, also gave an insightful presentation on trading in Ghana using e-commerce and urged SMEs to adopt digitization in their business dealings. A consultant on export trade, Gerard Nyako-Mensah, highlighted the many market opportunities for Ghana within the African Continental Free Trade Area. He listed plastics, fats and oils, footwear and textile as very viable industries Ghana can focus to explore its potential in for the liberated African market.
Look at the volumes and the values of what Africa is taking. Plastics is the team leader. 21 billion US dollars is what Africa takes in, every year of plastics. Of which Ghana, we are doing 200 million, but look at the gap between that and what Africa imports. It means there's room for much, much, much more that we can do.
The president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Clement Osaya Mwakon, called for effective stimulus packages that would positively impact cost of production for local industries so that they can also sell at competitive prices in the AfCFTA.
But in a situation where we have some support in the form of stimulus package to help us to produce at a lesser cost, then we can enjoy the economies of scale where we can produce at a lower cost and then become very competitive.
The Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Kwejo Tremantin, said, contrary to some people's belief that there is little to export from Ghana for the rest of the continent, research suggests that the continent does indeed require many products from Ghana. Hence, they need to grasp that opportunity.
The evidence is clear. If you look at Ghana's exports to the world, if you take out processed cocoa and cocoa beans, literally every export that is going out of Ghana is really to the rest of the continent.
The African Continental Free Trade Area implementation here in Ghana led by His Excellency the President of the Republic, as the Ministry of Trade, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority or the Ghana Revenue Authority in entirety. So my guest in the studio, as I said earlier, is Mr. Fetchin Akoto, Assistant Commissioner, Tariff and Trade, responsible for free trade agreement, including AfCFTA, and Mr. Francis Holiaja, the Director, International Business Development, Casapreco Company Limited. And shortly, I'll just play a minute of what Casapreco had to go through on the first day of exporting under the African Continental Free Trade Area. So if you're an exporter, you will be interested in that particular process. Even if you're an importer, you want to see how it went, what they benefited, if there was anything at all, and what they also lost, that is if there was anything at all. Mr. Fetchin, maybe I'll start off with you. What has really changed at all? Has anything changed from your regular processes?
Good evening, Sam. Good evening to your viewers. My answer will be yes and no. Yes, in the sense that if you want to export under the AfCFTA protocols, there are new additions to the processes and the procedures. That is the yes. For imports from third parties, I mean parties outside the state parties or AfCFTA, nothing has changed for them. It remains the same.
Now, just to clarify that and make it easier for other folks to understand. So, out of the 34 countries that have ratified, if you are importing out of any of these countries a product that is produced in any of those countries, then the AfCFTA may apply.
Yes.
But if you are importing out of these countries out of these countries?
34 countries.
34 countries.
Nothing.
And maybe beyond Africa, nothing has changed for you?
Nothing has changed for you. Yes.
And even if you are importing from those 34 countries and the product that you are importing was not produced or did not have 60+1 value added in those countries, does anything change for you?
No. You see, trading under AfCFTA comes under conditionalities. And I keep saying there are rules, which we call the rules of origin. That's what governs how these goods will move among state parties. I'm using the word state parties to denote countries that have signed up to the agreement and have ratified and deposited their instrument of ratification with the AU in Addis Ababa. So you become a state party. It means you have the opportunity to be part of this trading under the AfCFTA protocols and agreement. Yes. If you haven't done that, then all we are saying may not apply to you. All right. And let me use the opportunity to tell you what has changed since you have asked.
Yes. And that is regarding those...
let me start first with exports. Regarding 34 countries that have ratified and deposited their instrument of ratification, they have become state parties.
Okay.
All right. If you are exporting like Casapreco did, there is something you have to do before you can benefit. The first and foremost thing you ought to do is to register as an exporter under the AfCFTA. Through that registration, an exporter reference code will be generated to be used for all your exports. So Casapreco, since they are here, I'll use them as an example.
Yeah, and
gone through that process.
Yeah, and even though we'll be playing their video later,
yes,
the technical team will also be showing side by side what they actually did on the side, together with the other company that also, that cosmetic company.
Yes. So what they have done is they have registered, an exporter reference code has been registered, generated for them as a company registered to export under AfCFTA. Then from there, when they were about to export, they apply for what we call certificate of origin.
Okay.
And before they apply for that certificate of origin, we had gone ahead to look at their product, the final product, and then the raw materials that came into forming that product, producing that product. We had to inspect that product to ascertain as to whether that product will qualify under the rules of origin, under one of the criteria.
Which is what?
We have 4 basic criteria that we used, and you can qualify under one criteria. You see, we are using what we call product-specific rule under AfCFTA trading, which means that every chapter has a heading. Every chapter has a heading, or what we call a rule that is applicable to that chapter.
What chapter?
Let me use Casapreco for example. Their product falls under chapter 22. So chapter 22 has a rule.
Okay.
And the rule says that those products should go through what we call simple manufactured from products other than that of the product. It means that if you bring a product which falls under a heading other than the product they are exporting, then that product can qualify as an originating product. Casapreco exported gin, which falls under chapter 2208.
Okay.
So the first question we ask ourselves as customs and other interested parties is, what are the various materials and components that make up that gin that they are exporting? The basic materials we know is used in producing, I'm not going to review your signature, right? But the basic materials we know is the ethanol or alcohol, water, then probably the herbs or whatever that products, you use. Water falls under 2201.
Okay.
Ethanol falls under 2207. The herbs will fall under chapter 12, 11 or so, if I'm right.
So is it the case?
So when you put all these together, I don't know how their combination is. It gives them a tariff heading that gene, alomobites, they are exporting, falls under 220850.
Okay.
At the 6-digit heading. And then looking at 2201, 2207, and then 1211 qualifies them because it qualifies.
Okay.
But there are other products under that chapter that will not go by change of tariff heading. They could have gone under other rules that we have. Specific processing, it means you have to go through a specific process to produce that item. Or you would have added value to a certain threshold. But those rules do not apply to the product that Casapretco exported.
Okay. So who determines the chapters and the various ingredients that come into to form one chapter and all of that? Did Casapretco put all of that together and got to know their own chapter, or customs would step in at some point and get this?
It's very new, so it's up to we, the technical people,
Customs.
to determine customs, to determine.
So you'll be determining that for all manufacturers, all products that will be.
That is what the rule demands. That's why it's it was very instructive on the part of the Ministry of Trade to declare custom as the designated competent authority.
Yeah. And you were even handed an accreditation and all
Exactly.
of that.
It's very timely and instructive because it's a highly technical process. If you don't have the knowledge of the harmonized commodity description and coding system, there is no way you can apply these rules.
And all your men have been, customs have been prepared for this?
All the products that come into our country, we determine the classification of this product, the HS codes for all the products.
So you have the abilities already?
We have the capacity and the capability. And where we are in doubt, we have a well body, the World Customs Organization. We quickly file a request to them to seek clarification under certain circumstances where we are not very clear in our mind that what we are confronted with, we are not able to do that. We quickly file a request to our World Customs Organization to help us in
to get a backup.
Even before then, Sam, let me tell you that we have a customs laboratory, and we are privileged in Ghana to be the only West African country that has a customs laboratory. And this is one reason for which we have the laboratory, to be able to conduct chemical analysis to determine the chemical composition of some of these things for determining the classification of these items.
I see. I would want you to finish the process, then I'll come back to some of the readiness and all of that and other issue, whether people have been trained and people understand it. When are the manufacturers and the exporters themselves going to understand some of these things? Finish up with the process for me. So the person, the product, the company would have registered, then you would determine the chapters under which they fall, and then
determine the origin criteria for that product.
Okay.
Like we did for Casapretco. We are going, did for the next company to Gandu. They produce cosmetics, falls under chapter 33. So for the various products that they produce, we determine the raw materials against the final product, whether those products qualify under the rules. Looking at the rules applicable to that chapter and the headings, then we make a determination. When we are satisfied, then they go ahead to apply for the certificate. When they apply for the certificates and they qualify, then they are issued with the certificate to accompany the goods. Then they now go into the customs platform. You know, we are using the ICOMS. You have interviewed them here a lot. They use the ICOMS process to process a customs export entry. And when processing, they would have loaded some of these documents. The licenses, like my commissioner mentioned, his presentation, those things they remain. You have to get them, the licensing, permits, certificates, or others, anything that you need. Analysis, certificate of analysis, and all those documents, your registration with the GIPA, Ghana Export Promotion Agency, and all those, you would have gone through them all. Then you come and process. After which, then you go on to make a booking for your road. You will make an arrangement for your trucks to load the goods, and then for almost to the exit point. And then the final thing you have to do at the exit point is the customs designated authority there will have to stamp and sign your certificate of origin before it to be acceptable at the point of importation. And before you even take these steps to take advantage of the AfCFTA protocols or facilities, the first and foremost thing you have to do as an exporter is to make sure that where you are exporting to, first of all, the country is a state party. Now we are talking about state party, so that one is cleared. Secondly, you look at their tariff offers. Like Casapreco, we are using you as an example. We had to look at the tariff offers of South Africa. South Africa submitted their offers under SACU. You know, they fall under the SACU region.
South Africa Customs Union.
Yes, they made an offer for those countries. And then we'll look on the list. Do those products fall under the 90% liberalization or category A items of South Africa? In that, when those products go there, they will benefit from reliefs, preferential tariff rates. Otherwise, you will not enjoy preferential tariff rates when those items go to South Africa. So there is a need. We verified and cross-checked that South Africa has offered the heading 220850.
A tariff relief?
Yes. It means they qualify to benefit for preferential tariff.
Is customs doing this on behalf of the exporters?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact,
so
before,
if I have a product, I can inquire.
You know,
from
we
you.
just started the process. So it was our duty to verify for them, because as at then when we were processing them, we have not published it. Let me be very sincere with you.
But now it's published?
We are creating a portal in the ICOMS where all those informations will be uploaded in the ICOMS.
Okay.
Everybody is an external.
How soon is this getting out? Because
in fact, even with the application process, we've been promised that by 18th of January,
it should be ready.
It should be ready live.
That's
online.
The application
the
process.
The application process.
And then,
I believe that the portal, I don't know, I haven't checked before coming. I'm sure it should be functional now.
Okay.
Where you can go and look for all the information related to.
But for now, though, you're assisting them to do all these checks. We are
assisting them when there's anything, anybody wants an information. Let me use your opportunity to tell the general public. People are calling the AfCFTA Secretariat for information. Seriously, this is not.
Where should they go?
They should call customs.
Ghana Customs.
Yes, they should call Ministry.
Okay.
I think before the program we had prepared some information to be published in the papers.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ministry of Trade and Industry will be publishing this information, and then contact telephone addresses, email addresses will be published.
Yeah, but at least for now, do you have a specific area they can run to? Customs, or is they come into your headquarters? Are they coming to Tema? Is
CTSB, they ask of me.
CTSB, Customs Technical Services
Bureau headquarters.
The headquarters.
Customs headquarters. When they ask of me, you should be able to
You have a desk for that purpose, or because you may be busy doing something else?
Process,
not a lot of people can come and find Mr. Akoto.
No, when they come there, when they ask of me, they should be able to find.
Oh.
When I'm not available, there should be somebody
else to attend.
And meanwhile, we are establishing a desk purposely for these activities.
Okay. There are a number of questions. I'll come back to you, but I'm going to play if it's ready. If it's not, I'll talk to you, Francis, if you can share with us while they put the video together, because there's a video to that effect. What was your process like? Your first export under AfCFTA?
Well, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the viewers watching us to understand what actually comes up with the free trade area agreement. So like Mr. Akoto mentioned, the processes varied a bit from the old one, where initially when we want to export, we just upon receiving an order from the client, we go ahead to call the inspectorate bodies to come and inspect the product. They take samples for lab analysis and then try to generate a certificate of export. That's from the GSA desk. And then from there, we'll proceed to the Chamber of Commerce, who produces the certificate of analysis, the certificate of origin for the exports to be proceed on. So when we have the certificate of origin, then we do the loading onto the truck, and then they stamp the certificate of origin to exit the product to the market destination. That was the process. But now the addition is that after we go through the checks, vetting for analysis and certificate of export to be produced, the certificate of origin, which is different from the certificate of export, is issued by the Chamber of Commerce, and then it goes to customs for further verification to see if really the processes have been due followed.
I see.
Then after they certify the certificate of origin, then it comes back for the loading, then we exit the product. At the point of exit, there, as Mr. Akoto mentioned, there is a special custom person designated for that particular, after documentation. He also verifies, and if he's satisfied, he then stamps the documentation before the exiting of the product to the destination of the...
I see. But prior to this, the AfCFTA, Customs was not in the picture. It was just the Ghana Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, Ghana Chamber of Commerce was solely stamping the certificate of origin. Meanwhile, we also go through the custom by doing the declaration of the export documentation and stuff. But that is...
But the post verification was not in existence after you've gone to.
Yeah.
But what about Ministry of Trade? Don't they come in at this somewhere along the line?
Before, Ministry of Trade was not part
but
of...
now?
Yeah, but now I think they also come to play.
Where do they come in the process that you are going through? Where does the Ministry of Trade come in?
Well, from the Chamber of Commerce, I think through the customs, I think the Ministry of Trade also comes in. I don't know what role they actually play in that I can specifically mention.
Do you know after your verification?
You know, let me clarify. Before the AfCFTA came into being, what they were getting were what we call non-preferential certificates. Non-preferential. But here we are talking of preferential. For preferential tariff rates. So that one, there were processes that we didn't have to come in because you were not going to enjoy any preferential treatment anyway. Now we have the preferential treatment. So it has to go through the laid down processes as per the agreement.
To ensure that you have complied or you meet the criteria.
Because there are strict
criteria
you have to follow, where customs play a very critical role. And then with regards to Ministry of Trade and Industry, they play a very, they are the policy organ and the overseeing body of all trade related issues in the country. So where they come is we do a joint inspection.
Okay.
To determine the status of these products.
Okay.
Whether they can qualify as originating products or not.
From Ghana.
We didn't want the situation whereby all the activity reside on customs. So it's going to be a joint activity.
With Ministry of Trade.
With Ministry of Trade and GIS, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
And then GSA.
No, GSA doesn't come in here.
Okay.
So
is the three
organs.
Customs, Ministry of Trade, the three organs,
and the Chamber of
Commerce
will
do the inspection.
Joint inspection to determine the status of the goods, whether they can be qualifying or not.
But do you have the database for all these manufacturing companies who are producing and exporting?
That's why immediately you register.
Yeah.
Then we'll follow up.
Okay. Yeah. So
and then determine
if you haven't registered,
and your no, if you haven't registered,
you don't come in the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
And then let me make it very clear. When you register and you declare one product to us, we inspect that one product and make a determination on it. If you are adding another product line, there may be the need for us to come and inspect that product line and make a determination on that product.
Okay. So,
but if you give us 5 products and we come and inspect, and we make a determination, you don't need, at any point in time, we have made a determination unless the composition of that product is changes. Yeah. Before we may have to come for an inspection. Let me make it very clear.
That is clear. So in the case of Casapreco, for instance, what do you have other products apart from the gin that you exported, for instance, last week?
Yeah, sure.
What other products do you have?
So we, apart from the Alomo bitters that we registered under the AfCFTA, we have other products like Alomo Gold, Kalahari, the gin itself. We have the soft drinks that we're also going to enroll onto the AfCFTA project.
Okay.
To have that preferential tariff treatment.
Okay.
So this is going to follow up after we've settled down. They are ready to take up, the system is set up for any other things to be loaded. Then we also push to add up other product that we are exporting currently.
Okay, so far, when customs came to you, they made a determination on just one of your products, which is a gin. Is that the case?
It wasn't a determination as such, but at that time, we were faced to export the Alomo bitters. So we needed to quickly register that one before the acceptance of the certificate of origin.
Okay.
Or for us to qualify for the preferential tariff code. Yeah.
So, Mr. Fechi, in the future, would you have to do the assessment on the gin again? No, now that you have done that,
we will alert Mr. Koto and the team or the customs that okay, we've done changes to the composition of the product.
Okay.
Then
until then,
and then the trade body will have to come back again and do the inspection and see if really it meets the quota that they are supposed to meet. Then we qualify for.
Okay.
Exactly, that's what we have to do for them.
Okay.
I'm happy he has understood the process.
He has understood it. It's early days yet, but he's gotten it, and it's a good thing. I would come to you, talk about some of the countries that you export to, and how this would help a company like yours, so that others would also learn from this. But let me pick the video that you did that was used and played by the ministry.
Okay.
It's just about a minute, so let's listen to that.
Here at Casapreco, we are very happy for the introduction of the free trade agreement in Africa, for that matter. And Casapreco, we are very happy to be the first company to be part of this African trade agreement. Already we are exporting to 14 countries in Africa, and we want to take advantage of this agreement to enroll our market expansion into the rest of the markets. For instance, we're looking forward to be in Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, taking advantage of this free trade agreement. And for us, it's very important. Nigeria is one of the key markets that I am excited about. For us, it's a good news. Casapreco is overwhelmed with this duty-free, quota-free it's something that is really going to boost the market for us.
The first consignment from Casapreco has gone through customs inspection and other processes and procedures and is ready for shipment. The consignment from Casapreco has arrived at the Kotoka International Airport for security inspection and...
So the first inspection of Casapreco went through, and Francis, you were in charge there.
Yeah.
Which other countries, though, do you export to?
Oh, okay, so apart from South Africa, we also, our major
where's your major market? South Africa?
Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria.
Nigeria is our biggest
they drink
market.
Their Lumopa.
They love it. They love it. So, I mean, for as the product is delivering on its promises, so do they also call for it to have the benefit. So,
so you are the largest market in Nigeria.
Sure. Yeah. So we also export to Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Gabon, Sierra Leone, Liberia. We go to Burkina Faso. We are currently in the Netherlands.
I see.
Yeah, we
are flying.
Yeah, we're doing the USA, and then we're doing UK as well. So
okay,
it's a whole market.
It's a big market.
It's a big market.
So I'll spare you of those Western countries, and let's deal with internal, particularly the countries you mentioned that have ratified the AfCFTA. So SA will be one of them. South Africa will be one of them. The Nigeria, Lome, and all of the Togo and the rest. Now that you have been able to export made your first export, and enjoyed the AfCFTA, that meant that you enjoyed tariff-free, right?
Sure.
So in the past you were paying duties for exporting these products.
We don't pay the duties.
I mean,
it's when is the distributor,
yes,
upon arrival of the product, they will have to go through the process and meet the tariff quotas that are assigned to those particular products. Then they will do the payment.
Okay.
But for now, I mean, looking at South Africa and then its composition, they have a block called the SADC.
Yes.
And I believe that as South Africa has also submitted to the agreement, the SADC countries will also fall part of it soon, which is one big market for us already in the southern part of Africa.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and then distributors are going to be competitive on the market. We're going to compete with the big giants also on the market, because the cost of bringing in the product
is going
to go down.
Yeah.
So the price on the shelf will be competitive for everybody to have the product to consume.
Yeah. So again, further break it down. Yeah. Even though you are not the one being spared of the duty, the one at the end there, say in Nigeria, is not paying duty for bringing in Casapreco product.
Sure.
So it means that they can just clear your goods free, duty free.
Yeah.
That means that if I was taking about 20 boxes in the past because I was paying 20,000 duty, now it's free, and I can take about 100 boxes into the Nigerian market.
Sure.
How do you think that would help you as a manufacturer of this product here in Ghana, for instance?
I mean,
produce more.
Yeah, for us, we're going to produce more because volumes are going to go up, revenue is going to grow, and then for us at Casapreco, we have the capacity to meet this market because we have invested in this machinery to take care of these markets already before the introduction of the AfCFTA. So for us, it's a welcoming news to us that we're going to take advantage of a huge chunk of the market that we're not able to hit in the past due to this quota system and then high duties. When you go to some countries, they have to, you need to pay the duty on liters, which is very, very huge. Now it's going to go down. And then distributors will also use part of those revenue or funds that they were supposed to use to pay the duty on those products to invest in bringing up the product. And for us, it's a plus for us.
I see. Yeah. What about competition? You mentioned earlier, now that most of the countries, for instance, if you take the 34 countries that are so far enjoying the AfCFTA, don't you think that there would be stiffer competition for instance, your products? Because a lot of people can bring so much without paying duty. So the wine that I see on the shelves in South Africa, for instance, having the same price as the Alomo bitters, and I compare the two, how do you meet that competition?
Well, it's good. For us, we have a unique product. Alomo is just one of it. We have unique product that meets specific points of need for the consumers. So competition-wise is good because for you to be able to play in this new trade area, number one, you have to be good on your packaging. You need to be good on your quality.
Yeah.
And then you need to have the machinery to meet that competition in the market.
Yeah.
If you are not ready for that, then it means you cannot even play under the free trade agreement because you will not have the agreement or the approval from the customs to be able to enroll into your product into this new market. So for us, competition is good, but we are ready for the competition because we know we have good products. We have unique product that people definitely demanding.
Had you prepared for this when you had all these AfCFTA stuff and knowing that you have to serve some international market, particularly within the region? Did you start preparations?
Yeah, I mean, when I think it was, I don't know, Mr. Kuto can correct me. It was somewhere in September, or August, September, when we went for the first meeting. And then this
means who? You and
the stakeholders.
Okay, business community and
business
customs.
communities,
Okay.
Trade, Ministry of Trade and other parties. The conference, yes. So when it came, we were excited because we knew there were markets
There's opportunity
opportunity coming up for us.
Do you see that other businesses also had that kind of thought and took that initiative to prepare for this?
Well, for me, I cannot speak for them, but I realized that initially it wasn't too clear how it was going to play. But as time went on,
we started,
communicating, we're getting feedback, news, information from the stakeholders and then the policy makers, the Ministry of Trade, the customs, and then we also preparing for the day it will actually start. And then we have to take opportunity of it.
The thing about the agencies that will be inspecting some of these manufacturing products before they go and all of that, you think the Ministry of Trade, Customs and GICC is fully capacitated to do that? In terms of resource database of all these companies? Well, you mentioned that they have to register, so you should know.
Yes, let me make it distinguish between this inspection and then the inspection that the regulatory bodies will have to undertake.
Okay.
There's a clear distinction.
Okay.
The regulatory bodies will look for the standards.
Here you're talking about Standards Authority, Food and Drugs and all that.
Drug and all those things. They are concerned with the quality of the product as required under our rules and then probably pertains at the country of importation.
Okay.
We are just ascertaining to make sure that the goods will qualify under the rules of origin.
Okay.
That is the inspection that we shall undertake.
Okay.
Purely to ensure that the goods will qualify under the rules of origin.
Okay. So even though I don't have allocated time for this particular segment from the producer, I will attempt to read a few questions for you.
I have been spoken about the importation.
The importation.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that I'm running out of time. Because I've been told that I have 5 minutes. But just run through the importation quickly and then I'll run through.
Yes, just like for exports. For all imports, nothing has changed. Except for the fact that when you are bringing in goods, we need customs want to see certain documentation to ascertain that these goods qualify to come in to enjoy the preferential tariffs. Just like we have issued these documents to allow Casapreco export, you should make sure that anybody importing, first of all, we should look at the tariff offers that ECOWA has made. We're going to publish them in the ICOMS platform.
Okay.
make sure that the import falls under the 90% tariff liberalization.
How do they make sure of that?
Yes, you see, I thought we were going to use that, speak on that as a topic.
Let's do it.
The 90%,
but as much as possible,
categorization.
Briefly. Yeah.
The ECOWAS Common External Tariff has 6,129 tariff lines, and the tariff offer schedules and modalities require that we should liberalize 90% of these 6,129 tariff lines, which when you work out will give you 5,516 tariff lines. So immediately the whole of ECOWAS is liberalizing 5,116 tariff lines, which we shall publish under the category A items. It means that we'll start dismantling tariffs on these 5,516 tariff lines immediately. Before you enjoy the preferential tariffs, you should make sure that it falls under these commodities. Otherwise, no. And when the goods come, you should have the certificates of origin.
Okay.
Duly signed by the competent authority at the exporting country, and then the customs at the point of exit. Duly signed. It is only then that we can accept. And then we should have attached to the consignment the customs export entry at the point of export, and other trade documents that we require now, like the bill of lading, airway bill, commercial invoices, packing list, certificate of analysis, or if there are grains coming from Zimbabwe, we expect to see phytosanitary certificate accompanying the grains to make sure that it's really coming from Zimbabwe. So these are some of the things that we need. It doesn't differ much, but to benefit from the tariff lines, the preferential tariffs, you ought to have the certificate of origin after certificate of origin.
Okay.
We have given a sample which we're going to put on the Icons platform for people to see how our certificate looks like. And the certificates are about the same because the secretariat, after secretariat, has given instruction how the certificates of origin should look like.
What about the 60+1 value addition bit? How do you determine that? Who determines that?
It's one of the criteria that we are going to use to determine the rules. It's one of the, we call it the value of non-originating materials.
Yes, so I have imported and the product arrive in Ghana, you want to determine whether, and I'm telling you that it came from, say, Togo or Nigeria.
Yes.
How do you determine that it meets the 60+1 value addition?
The issue here is, it's not for us to determine when it's coming in. It's for the exporting country competent authority.
Okay.
Like we, the three agencies, are going to inspect.
Okay.
When we are applying the rule of value of non-originating materials, it is up to the three of us to sit down. There is a formula to it, to calculate, using the information made available to us from the factory, to calculate whether they meet that threshold,
okay,
60% threshold.
Yeah.
And then it means when it's coming into the country, our counterparts
in the exporting country
would have done that to advise us. If we are not satisfied, we can protest to them.
So how do they advise? Is there a document that
the
importer will have to
by the certificate they have issued, the certificate of origin.
It would be stated.
The criteria will be stated on it. It means the criteria of value of non-originating materials or the material content of value addition.
Okay.
Then we understand that it has gone through the process.
Okay. So I have to just apologize that we will not be able to take any messages or not take any other information. Unfortunately, they have this tight timeline now that is not healthy, but hopefully they are able to resolve it and we'll deal with it going into the future. So thanks a lot for joining us for the program. This week we have been analyzing the commencement of free continental trade in Africa and Ghana's launch to that effect. we have been discussing, particularly the first export that was done by CASAPRECO. In the course of the week, it was used by the Ministry of Trade during the launch. And my guest in the studio had been Mr. Francis Holiaja, the Director of International Business Development, CASAPRECO Company Limited. Mr. Fetchin Nakuto, Assistant Commissioner, Tariff and Trade, responsible for free trade agreements, including the African Continental Free Trade Agreement or area. Mr. Nakuto and Francis, pleasure to have you. I hope that we'll have another opportunity elsewhere and then discuss in extenso so that others would also be able to pick it up from there. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. We'll be glad to